Welcome back, MTG Joe here, and going to be playing some more Jumpstart cards. Another reprinted card, a really fun one and powerful in Eternal formats, Young Pyromancer. So Young Pyromancer, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you get a 1/1 elemental. So this is a Luris companion. I don't know why this bug now shows Luris, you have to highlight it, but it's a Rakdos deck, so red-black. And basically what you're trying to do is just cast a bunch of cheap spells and then recast them with Dreadhorde Arcanist, and then you get additional triggers with that. Fueling the graveyard, you have ways to put stuff in the graveyard as well with like Stitcher Supplier that you can then escape Kroxa pretty quickly. You also have a new card, an old new card, Grim Lavamancer. 1 mana, you can tap a red mana in the creature and it deals 2 damage to any creature if you exile 2 cards from your graveyard. So a little bit of contention between the two, but it's ways to kind of take advantage of our graveyard and the spells we cast. So kind of going through the spells, there's a couple 1-ofs in the deck, and then pretty much like full sets. 1 of Duress, just a last minute addition. I wanted some discard. Really what this deck's going to want is like Thoughtseize once it comes back, with potentially in Pioneer Masters. You have Stitcher Supplier that fills the graveyard. Village Rites is very good in this deck. Basically, you can cast it by like sack an elemental that you get from Young Pyromancer. You get another elemental. Then if you have Dreadhorde Arcanist, you get to cast it again, sacking that elemental you just created and drawing another 2 cards. So it's a quick way to refill your hands. Crash Through is a cheap red spell to kind of just flip through. The Trample can also be relevant with Kroxa. 1 of Maximize Velocity is a way that if the card's in our graveyard, we can cast it to give haste to something like Kroxa. Shocks, we have some Lightning Strikes as a removal along with Eliminate. So Dreadhorde Arcanist can cast everything here that's instant or sorcery. And then we have a couple Call of the Death Dwellers as well. In a pinch, you can plus your Dreadhorde Arcanist to cast some of the bigger stuff too. This gets it back, and then Kroxa can also... not Kroxa, Luris can also cast basically all your permanents in the deck. Mana base wise, pretty standard for Rakdos. You got your duels, Fabled Passages to fuel Kroxa. The one card I want to try out in the deck, and I don't know if it's going to be as good in this version as some of the black based Luris sacrifice decks, but it's Phyrexian Tower. It's a new card reprinted. It is taps for just a colorless, or you can sack a creature and add double black. So it's a way to kind of get ahead on mana. You can cast Kroxa, priority sack it to the Phyrexian Tower, and then get extra mana. It can also be used with Luris shenanigans, where you can cast something and then sack it, and then cast something from the graveyard. So there's ways around that. I don't know if it's going to be the best card, but we'll try it out. Sideboard wise, I have Tormod's Crypts for graveyard decks. Can also be recast by Luris. Duress some more for control. Shivan Fire can kind of scale up as well late in game, but basically I want early removal for like the Goblins decks. Obnoxious Grass versus green decks. Cry is a concession to both Field and the Goblin decks. They're going to be able to go wider than us faster, and with the Lords, so I'd side out Young Pyromancer in that case and then play Cry the Carnarium. It keeps our other creatures alive, like basically Dreadhorde and Kroxa both stay alive. And then Chandra versus Control, more when they bring in targeted removal for our creatures and sweepers. And then Rampaging Ferocidon. I do have to side Luris out in those matches, but Ferocidon would come in against like the field matches, life gain, kind of just ways to kind of chip at their life total when we want to be a burn deck. So I think I'm like in the close to top 1200, 1257. So we'll play some games with it, see how it goes. Playing it briefly offline, and if you can go turn 2 Arcanist into turn 3 Young Pyromancer, you get crazy value off it. So we've covered a few of the historic decks. I could probably play Goblins as well. That seems to be one of the breakout decks, but if there are any other decks you'd like to see in historic with the new set Jumpstart, let me know. I'm probably going to opt to not play Elves. It hasn't been that good, and it does involve quite a bit of commitment in terms of wildcards. So Stitcher is actually pretty good here because we have this. So if we hit creatures, which we don't. Okay, so we're up against goblins. Croxa's pretty good here. Gets him off a card. And then sets us up to escape a Croxa. So they get rid of Muxus. Muxus is one of the new cards. Really good on the top end. You basically reveal the top 6, put all goblins with CMC 5 or less onto the battlefield. So I'm just going to fill my graveyard here, hoping to hit a creature to get this call off. Perfect. We got Dreadhorde and thing. And then I can follow it up with Croxa the following turn. So we'll put the Death Touch on Stitcher Supplier and the Menace on Dreadhorde. Another Croxa is good, so I can escape back Croxa next turn. And then I can also attack and use the shock that's in my graveyard to hit the Chieftain. Skirk Prospector's an engine for this deck. You can sack your creatures to get Maxus out. Also with Krenko, it lets it have haste with Goblin Chieftain, so they kind of ramp ahead here. So I have options here. I can go Pyromancer and get some value that way. Kind of give me some blockers. Which I actually think we do that. I want to take them off this Chieftain. And then I can draw cards with Village Rights. So that triggers Young Pyromancer. Because they're going to be able to go wide now. So like my Dreadhorde's dead. But I want to take them off being able to just have all this extra power. So I do have the choice to give Croxa Trample later, but I think we just do this now, get another token. Eliminates pretty good. Not the best because it can't hit Krenko. So I might want Red Cat Melee in the side with these things being bigger. Goblin Matron lets them put something on top or into their hand. Which then they could potentially cast. So if they go Maxus, they can sack their board. Or actually make Krenko make tokens, sack their board, cast Maxus. So we could be in trouble here. Yeah. So let's see if they see the line. So this is a matchup where I'm going to bring Cry the Carnarium in. You can see based off this board, if we had Cry, it'd help clean us up. Pyromancer kind of gets a little outclassed by them just making goblins a lot faster. So see if they whiff, but this Eliminate not doing as well of a job here. Hit pretty hard. They all get haste as well. It's kind of the aggro deck of the format right now. You need to be able to interact with it. Let's see if they mistakenly attack. So this gets pumped based off each goblin you have. But let's see if they forget that this has Death Touch. Come on. Go another Krenko. They're just gonna try to kill us. I can't come back from this. There's nothing in my main board that beats this. So this is why we side in the Cries, and I'm also going to bring in... So let's get rid of Luris. Let's bring in the Ferocidons, the Cries. Get rid of Young Pyromancer. Bring in the Shivan Fires. Get rid of Duress. Get rid of Maximize Velocity. Yeah, I think I do want Red Cat Melee. If we run into more goblins, this seems to be the more popular deck right now. Trimacroxa. Do I want Trimacroxa? Probably. Kind of go from there, because I don't have anything to deal 4 toughness either. So this might be better with this being Red Cat Melee or Lava Coil. Red Cat Melee has the bonus of being able to be flashed back as well. I'm wondering... Shivan Fire. Lavamancer's okay if the game slows down a bit. I might just play Luris. Like, Croxa's not great here. They bin their hand pretty quick. Probably make that change after this. Just, I was playing best of 1, so I didn't really have a sideboard tweaked for this. Okay. Not the best hand, but it'll work. Probably do this. Leading on Mountain, because they might think we have Shock. Probably go Ferocidon first. The question is, do I cry them now, or do I try to wait a turn and then cry them? I think we cry them this turn. Because it gets pretty... Like, this enables some brokenness. Let's see what they fetch here. I think just even getting Scourge Prospector off helps. Yeah, especially with Krenko coming. Just want to thin out my deck here. We'll have double red anyways. So I can village right the Stitcher Supplier to draw cards. Or not. Rakdos. So they can pop the Crypt. I'm gonna draw a card here. Yeah, we get quite a few lands in this set, and then this Chain Whirler hitting Stitcher Supplier hurt, because this Ferocidon's kind of keeping them in check. Because now Krenko comes down. Big boy, and they got Snoop. I think I just need to dig deeper. I need a creature. Second Ferocidon. Shivan Fire is good. Use that for Krenko after. So hopefully they go Krenko here. Snoop. So now they have Matron. Question is, do we Shivan this? I actually think we wait. We Shivan the Chain Whirler so I can attack in. Cry's also good afterwards. So cast with Kicker. Let's kill this. This lets me hit in for 6. Now they're kind of in a situation where, depending what they play out, they take a point here. For those just tuning in, we are playing Rakdos Pyromancer. We are in sideboard game, so the Pyromancers are actually in the sideboard versus Goblins. Let's crash through first, see what I get. With the trample, they're dead. They got a double block, but I think we just cry here. I hit him for 2, and then we can deal with them. Because now they have to play a creature out, so that pings them for 1. They play 2 creatures out. Then they can block one of them. Yeah. That's why I like Ferocidon in this matchup. They kind of go wide, so you can spam. So they brought in Graveyard Hate. So if they brought in the Graveyard Hate, still think we keep it. The question is, do I want the Luris? I don't, like, Duress doesn't do anything in this matchup. Maybe we bring in a Chandra. Worst case, Chandra lets me recast. Call still has utility because it can get back Ferocidons that we mill, Stitcher Supply or that. And the Death Touch is relevant. I think we maybe bring in Chandras instead of the Croxas. Chandra lets us also recast our burn spells. And at the very least, it might serve as a distraction. Don't love this hand. Opponent goes first. I eliminate their turn 2 play. I've crashed through on 1. Maybe we try it. Crypt. Another shock's good. Matron. Actually, I like this a lot. I wanted you. So I'm going to do this. I just want to see what's on top of their library after they draw. Okay, so they got Thing. Now we kill Snoop. Might want to force this Crypt out of them. So it does take them their whole turn though, which isn't bad. Unless they have a 1-drop. Phyrexian Tower. That lets me eliminate and do that. I think we want them to pop this. The sooner this gets off the battlefield, then I can start using my graveyard as a resource. The longer it hangs around, the worse it is. Or they just have another crypt. That's annoying. Pyromancer would be good. I get a Snoop. Probably go eliminate on the Snoop. You know, they're drawing a mountain. I still think I hold the shock. If they draw, if they have like a lord, we want a removal spell. Their pressure isn't that high right now. These rights aren't doing... Okay, so I think Like, just not drawing at creatures really sucked here. I might be priced into... Okay, Prospector, something I'll kill. Because now they're just going to hit me for 6. Ah, shit. That was a good one to have left in hand. And then this refills their hand, and now they sack a whole bunch. Okay, we need to reconsider our sideboard plan. So they can sack, sack, sack. This lose haste. Okay. I have no answer to this. Which is a bit of an issue. Chandra doesn't do it. Lightning Strike. Yeah, I boarded out too many creatures. I can do this. Not feeling great. Okay, so sideboard plan not the best. I gotta keep Pyromancers in, I think. They hit me for 6 here, so even if I draw, I take 4. That puts me pretty low. Okay, we got Arcanist. So if they go Gem Palm Incinerator here. So they go Whirly Boy. We might want Languish here. Just more lands. Let's rethink our sideboard here. Man, we dropped a lot off that. So right now I have 16 creatures. Eliminate. Fine against most things. This might be too cute. So we can do another creature perhaps. Even maybe just like the one that makes a token with first strike. Or another escape threat. Maybe we do Gutter Bones instead of the Duress. Do a pair of Gutter Bones. Works better than it. You can also use the Phyrexian Tower and bring it back. So that can work. And then sideboard wise, Ghost Rider, you can't play with Luris. Luris is our companion. This should be... So let's go red cap. Lava coil. Just go like that. Or maybe another duress since we cut the one in the main. That gives me a bunch of burn. And the cries with ferocity. Okay, I like that one better. Let's run it again. Goblins goes quick. The hand we kept was a little suspect game 3, but it might be at odds if we don't keep the Pyromancers in. Alex Park. Number 124. Give me a land. Are they on goblins as well? Yep. Everybody's on goblins now. Untapped land would be the best, so then I could lightning strike this and then have this available. So I actually think we are priced into doing the Skirk Prospector. Although this serves as card advantage, knowing that this could come down next turn, we want to keep it off the battlefield. And then in any case, this puts our second. Good play by the opponent there, gets Pyromancer off. We can, oh, you know what? Oh, no, I didn't have the cards in graveyard yet. I was going to say, we could have Lavamancered. So I could Lavamancer Snoop next turn, play out a Gutter Bones, and then hold up, Village Rites. You know, they have a mountain on top. So they play Phyrexian Tower just to get them ahead on mana. It's another way to get this out a turn earlier. Okay, so I think we hold on to Pyromancer right now because they have the Arcanist. And then I'm going to keep the Pyromancer in the graveyard because I can get it back with Call of Death Dwellers. They have the lands, they sack this, deals 1 to this. So Village Rites here. Dreadhorde Arcanist is nice. It's probably one of their poor draws, to be honest. but this is going to hit me for a ton. They have this to get chiefed in, and then this refills their hand. So I'm pretty much dead here. Yeah, and they got Prospector and thing. And this gives them haste. They sack some stuff. Yeah, we're dead. Her deck's not very good against goblins. So I think we do a similar plan to last game. We got to get rid of the Luris. Grim Lavamancer's fine. I think we trim Croxas. Trim a couple Pyromancers. Trim a Village Rites. Maybe trim all the Pyromancers again. Trim the Croxa. Trim a Call. Call is probably more situational, so let's keep the Death Dwellers in here. Well, we're going to be playing as goblins in Historic right now, then I don't think this is the deck to beat goblins. It's a bit painful, but we're on the play. I can kill their turn 2. Arsonist is actually pretty good. Honestly, I'm fine with that being their turn. This was kind of a throwaway. I didn't have to shock myself. I can always get it back now with this call. I do think we probably shock ourselves next turn to have Dread Horde and the Lightning Strike up. Good. I don't have to shock myself. So they have the option to double block, but that takes off their board. Unfortunately, don't have anything in the graveyard just yet to flashback with the Arcanist, but a 1/3 body is pretty good here. So I could potentially blow them out here if they commit something to the board. I lightning strike it. Well, I can't do that this turn. Okay, so since we drew another call, I'm gonna get this back so it can get Death Touch, so then I can just ping off whatever they play. Free attack. At the very least, this gets cards out of my hand so I can start castling. And then this, if they spend their turn just doing this, then I'm fine with that as well. Okay, that's annoying. do this first. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Gives me a shock. So I can tower, sack, but I can only get back, crash through that. So I think we just do this. Get back Ferocidon. If I draw a land, I can sack this to tower to get extra mana to pay into this. Because if they attack me with this, that's fine because I hit him back. And they're just going to Incinerator again. The fact that they keep drawing these like tutor effects is really painful. They did that wrong. I don't think that's what they wanted to do. So that might cost them the game depending on how we draw out of this. That's how we draw out of this. So sack this for the mana. Cry the Carnarium. Attack with both. Oh no, this doesn't have the power. Shit. I screwed that up. I messed that up. I forgot that it would get minus power. So what I wanted to do was hit the shock and then, or the red cap melee. It might be dead here. Are they one short of dying? And then they just hit us for lethal, 2-4. Ah! So if I kept thing back, we would have still been dead. What a freaking rip. Yeah, goblins are a tough one to crack. Let me give Arena a quick reset. We'll play one more. Goblins is like creating a wide net of creatures faster than we can. Our deck's about like incremental kind of chipping away. I do like the Ferocidon out of the sideboard play. We almost got them there. They were 1 point of damage if we were able to just chip in there. Hopefully we're playing something else other than goblins. I'm tempted to play Containment Priest. We're on the draw with triple cash through. Screw it, let's do it. Okay, you know what? It's not the worst. It lets me cast Pyromancer. When it's on a field deck. Give me a land. Give me a land. Give me a land. Give me a land. Casual turn 3/5 mana. I think this is a matchup where game 1 I think we're always kind of a dog, especially when we're not hitting lands. Can't escape Crocs yet, so if we hit a land there earlier, yeah, I'm not going to beat this. I don't want to show him any more of my deck. Okay, so this matchup, basically Ferocidons come in, Lurrus comes out. I don't think I want the Cries, but I do want Duress. The Lavamancer's not very good. Gutterbones are pretty bad. I still think we keep the Croxa, and we still think we trim 2 Pyromancers. They're not the best with Ferocidon, and Eliminates could come out. Do we keep this in? No, maybe we go Lurrus. Let's run it like that. Because we don't want to make too many tokens because it kill us, but if they make tokens it kills them. So we're kind of running into the 2 boogeymen of the format. This hand is like very close to being good. If we had... I still think it's fine. Like, if this was a swamp, this hand would be great. Because then I go this, 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 this. It's actually still really good. Because now I get to go Pyromancer and then hit him for Duress. So I'm going to wait to see. I lose out on a token this way, but I think I want the Dreadhorde Arcanist. This turn I'm going to take Growth Spiral, and then I'm going to take their their Shatter. Still gonna get Golos online though. They missed on a land. Oh, that's good. So we need to do Duress here. Because I need to take their Shatter this guy. Can I have Field in hand? So I think what we do is end of turn I Village Rites the Stitcher Supplier. So that way I can potentially hit a Croxa. Okay, all their lands do come into play tapped based on what they have in play. They do have the option of Field of Ruining to open up a mana. There was 5 lands on the top, 6 lands on the top of my library. That is not what we want to see. I do think I have to Village Rites here. Because I could shock... So if I shock this, I hit him for 4, 9, 10. I think we have to village rights. Are you kidding me? That's kind of ridiculous. Okay, we took it. I will take those, all things considered. Think we still go like this? Could trim a shock. Play another Pyromancer. So we milled 3 lands and then proceeded to draw 6 lands. So 9 lands on top of our library. And I'm playing 23. So slightly under the average land count. Got our better creature in the matchup. I think we keep... Probably just lead with the Arcanists. So I'm only going to play 1 Ferocidon out at a time. Because if they sweep the board... Red Horde's looking a little lackluster here. Okay, take 2 damage. It's actually not terrible, because I can kind of bait them into blocking weird here. This lets me kill both zombies. Field's kind of redundant at this point, so this looks like a shatter. Juvie. Just taking them off these. It's not the most efficient. Maybe we want Cry the Carnarium. Let me see if I hit Croxa. We do hit Croxa. I think we do this turn. Because if they have another Shatter, I draw a card. And this takes one of their last cards out of their hand. Lets me put some pressure on them. Arch. Or they just hit Golos. So we're punished here because now they get another field. So it would have done 3 damage to them. Now they're just going to go wide. Fill our graveyard here. Yeah, we took a chance there. I even screwed that up. I should have played Young Pyromancer first. I'm not thinking proper. I can attack in, but they hit me back for more. Black, white, green, blue, so they can activate Golos here. And they don't have to play lines out. So we took a chance, we played Croxa, but they basically invalidated what we did there. So I can attack with Croxa, then play Croxa. I also have the option of just shattering here and then playing Bazooka Bog. Which honestly isn't a terrible idea. Attack with everything and then shatter. That seems wrong. So that take 12. Do you want something back for village rights? I think we have to do this. We really need Thoughtseize in this deck. It's the one thing that I feel like we're really missing. It's not gonna do it. Really came down to that turn when we played Croxa instead. I think we should have just... The Croxa was the higher upside play. The Ferocidon was the safer play. But they basically went wider than we could have. So unless we had those good draws like game 2, it kind of hurt us there. Like, we really want to focus on, like, one-on-one creatures. When they're going that wide against us, it's a bit tough. And we don't have, like, clean ways of dealing with, like, the 5 power. Because, like, even in that matchup, we wouldn't bring in something like Murderous Rider to get Golos because it's kind of narrow. And then they brought in Shatters, seeing that we're playing the smaller stuff. It's a tough one. The elements of the deck that are good. I think this deck can evolve over time as we get better spells coming in. I do like Village Rites, Dread Horde. Like, this shell's good. One way would be even just, if you can, like, Thoughtseize. Like, just imagine Thoughtseize in this deck would be perfect to just kind of clear out those things with Dread Horde. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this one up. Appreciate everyone for stopping by. We'll be back probably tomorrow with some more content. I appreciate everyone stopping by. Have a great one. Stay safe.